Hey guys, welcome to r/Tales from Tech Support, where we get to have a little chuckle at the technologically disadvantaged. Like me. I'm Uncle Reddit, and have I got a story for you. Boss installed a new Timecard system without telling me. This is my second post here, and again, I'm not tech support, but I was that guy who had to handle everything tech related before we bothered to call and pay for our actual tech support vendor, who was an old friend of the owner, and while his service was top-notch, we were his smallest client, and his working for us was a personal favor, so we tried not to bother him. Anyway, I was also the office manager, and the owner/boss blindly bought some new software to put on everybody's computer to make it easier for our 10 employees to log in their start and stop times for the day. Evidently, using a simple Excel sheet wasn't easy enough that he had to spend about $1,000 on this program for every computer. Ends up, he didn't run it by me or by our tech support guy before purchasing this software. I expressed my concerns, well, mostly about how this wasn't really needed with such a small office. But evidently the owner was concerned that his employees might be fudging their time cards, and this was the magic fix. Again, I thought it was a bit of overkill for such a small office. These programs ran on individual computers and not on our server, which got me thinking. I logged into my computer, looked at the time clock, and clocked in using the new software. Then I just changed my computer's clock time, and sure enough, I could clock out showing I'd worked 8 hours. A few minutes later, and I already had my 480 hours done for the week, and I hadn't even had my morning coffee. I printed off my time card and handed it to the boss and told him I'd see him next week. Of course, I didn't actually leave, but I did manage to get him to have our tech support remove the software and get a refund. Yeah, I tend to be that guy. The guy that overthinks things to the point where I've overcomplicated it, or I do the exact opposite and I don't think it through enough and end up spending goofy money on something that just isn't going to work. Sometimes I need somebody to rein me in on those things. User desperately needs access to VPN. A couple weeks ago, my inbox notification went off and I dutifully checked my email. Someone had sent an email to all IT administrators in my company. This person's email went roughly like this. I've been emailing the help desk for 2 weeks now that I need access to the VPN, and no one has helped me. Can you please help? The person's boss was also CC'd in this email. My team's notification suddenly goes off, and it's the CC'd boss asking me to please call her as her employee needs VPN assistance, and it is very important that this employee has access as soon as possible. I'm not the help desk tech. I'm the systems admin. I decide to ignore the boss for now and I log into the help desk to see what's going on. I do a search for the user. No open tickets. I refine the search for any tickets ever from this user. No tickets. None open, none closed, none pending, nothing. This user has never emailed the help desk. I still want to help and I know the help desk tech is a busy person, so I email the user and CC the boss. My email says roughly this. Hey user, I checked the ticket system and I didn't see any tickets, so I want to make sure you're emailing helpdesk@company.com. Regardless, let me help you get set up. So we're in the process of switching to a new VPN system. I've created an MFA account for you and you should have an email from the MFA system in your inbox now. Please follow the steps it prompts to complete step 1 of the new VPN. You'll need to download the Cisco client and configure that as well. We don't have instructions written for that yet, so please call me at 555-1122 or reply to this email and I can schedule a meeting with you, and I'll be glad to help walk you through the process of completing the setup. Warmest regards. The rest of the day goes by. No email, no phone call from the user. I checked in the admin section of the MFA software and saw that the user had completed the setup and had configured a phone number. Alright, great. They've completed step 1. Now they just need to call me and I can get them the Cisco VPN software, provide them the URL and help them get into the VPN. They just need to contact me with an ideal time for them. 1 week later, I get an automated email alert that the user has locked themselves out of the MFA for too many bad authentications. Another week has gone by and I still have not gotten a call or an email from the user. They still have not emailed the help desk at all. I check up on it every couple days. Maybe someday they'll finish reading my email and follow my directions. Maybe not. But I'm not chasing them down. I'm curious to see how long it'll take. In the meantime, they still don't have access to the VPN. I wonder how they're doing their job. The user's boss has not contacted me again either. The only other people in the IT admin's email group are the help desk guy and my boss. I asked them both if they'd been contacted by the user, and both have said no. They saw my email and they were letting me handle it. I told them I haven't heard back from the user, and they just shrugged and said, well, he's been given instructions. Let's wait and see. We're still waiting. I know people like this. You can't give them more than one instruction at a time or they just totally implode. Everything upstairs just goes to total goo. And as much as I love them, my kids tend to be like this sometimes. Sweep and vacuum the floor in 3 rooms. They remember to sweep 3 rooms. The good news is they tend to grow out of it. The bad news is I gotta teach them how to grow out of it. Exceeding expectations by delivering features late. Another software dev here. Our support people got a request from a business we work with to add a specific feature. It wasn't a simple request. From the product owner. No pressure, Final Device, but we need to give them an estimate. When do you think it'll be done? Me. About 2 months. Time comes and goes. Feature gets built. It's annoying to test and I made bugs. Feature gets fixed. It's still annoying to test, but there are fewer bugs. Do more fixing. After roughly 2.5 months, we deliver the feature. It's a couple weeks late, but I work for a chill company, and the feature request was from a chill client. I figured they'd care more that it works correctly than it arrives on time. Boss person. Hey, Final Device, I've been meaning to say thank you. The client is thrilled that you shipped the feature so quickly. Me. Awesome, glad they're happy. We missed our estimate though. I'm surprised they thought that was fast. Boss person. Missed? I'm pretty sure we told them 6 months. Apparently when I told the product owner it would take 2 months, she padded it and promised the feature in 3 months. This message was passed to project manager who padded the estimate and promised the feature in 4 months. This message was passed to business relations manager who padded the estimate and promised the client that we deliver in 6 months. At each stage they assumed that whatever estimate they received was probably optimistic. To be fair, I missed my original estimate and should be padded just in case. It's just funny because it's the exact opposite of the usual horror story. Most companies you say 6 months and each manager whittles the number down a bit in hopes that it makes them look good. Yeah, we've had the same thing in the construction field for years. You know, somebody asks how long a deck's going to take to be built. You look at the drawings and the materials and everything and you say, okay, it'll be about 3 weeks. Total. Footings, everything, inspections. And somehow they get it in their head that in 2 weeks you'll be done. It's amazing. Like, where did you get this date? Now you're just making stuff up. 20-mile line of sight. Disclaimer, I am not a support technician. My parents happen to be the user in this story. Forgive me if any details are wrong. When I was in high school, my parents decided to build a new house. We lived in a century-old farmhouse, 5 miles from the nearest town, and had line-of-sight internet. The internet wasn't great, but it was enough for email and online classes. In order to build the new house, we bulldozed the old house and moved to a town about 20 miles away for a summer. My parents, knowing nothing about technology, took the router and sundry with them. They ended up putting the router in my second-floor bedroom window because it was the only way they could get the Wi-Fi to work. Shortly after we moved, we noticed the internet quality and speed dropping. I was taking an online college course at the time, so we really needed to get it fixed. My mom called the line-of-sight internet provider and asked them to come check the router. They asked for an address and she gave it. When the technician arrived, he took one look at the router and said, "Ma'am, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you'll be losing your internet service. Your little setup here has been dragging down our entire system and baffling our team. You can have your service back when you return to your original address." We used mobile data for the rest of the summer. 20 miles? I didn't know that was even possible. I'm still amazed when CB radio transmissions, do a skip through the atmosphere and you can talk to people, halfway across the country, or occasionally, and it's very special circumstances, you might pick somebody up in another country. But 20 miles line of sight internet? Really? Even if it's slow, that's still staggering to me. Tales from Gansa. First of all, sorry for my English, not native speaker. This situation was a couple years ago. I worked maintaining and fixing computers, monitors, and physical printers in a large company that manufactured eyewear such as sunglasses and contact lenses and that kind of things. There were like 50 different stores in all of the provincia. I would say state, I guess. One day I get a call from the cashier in the furthest location we own. I'm talking like 2 hours by car at least from headquarters. Me. Hi, this is IT. How can I help you? Gansa. Yes, hello, this is Gansa from faraway location. We're having a problem with the physical printer. It's not printing and we don't have telenarios de facturación. And I know I just butchered that. This is a piece of paper used to write the receipt by hand in case the physical printer isn't working. Well, why didn't you just say a receipt book? That's what I'm going to call it for now. Me. Okay, let's check the basics first. Is the printer connected to the wall? Gansa. Yes, I already checked. Me. Is it on then? Gansa. How can I tell? Me. She uses this 100 times a day and didn't notice the green LED? It should have a green LED and a second LED blinking constantly. Gansa. No, I don't see anything. Me. Okay then, I'm on my way. I hang up, grab my tools, a new printer. This is a problem because we need to configure everything for that store in particular. We can't just exchange it. A power cable, a serial cable. Yeah, I know, obsolete. 2 receipt books, my car keys, and drive to the store. 2 hours and 40 minutes of fighting traffic, I arrive at the store. I walk in the store, and I speak with the manager and give him the receipt book. And he thanks me, and I get behind the counter to check the problem. It took me 4 seconds to know that the printer is not plugged into the wall. But I don't see any socket available. In this store, we made the counters with the correct amount of sockets to plug in the essentials alone. The employees have lots of sockets available in the storage room for personal use. I checked the only one that doesn't look familiar and follow the cable. It was a charger for a phone. The cashier unplugged the physical printer and connected her phone. I calm myself of the bloody rage that is coursing in my very core and call the manager. I don't speak to him. I just point to the cable and keep pointing up until I reach the wall. His face was priceless. Gansa! Gansa, now scared. What? Manager. Did you connect your charger to the wall? Gansa, clueless. Yes? Manager. And you had to unplug something to do it? Gansa. Yes, but everything was working when I unplugged. Oh. Me. Yes, about that. Didn't I ask you if the printer was plugged to the wall? Gansa. Yes, but I did check. Me. Well, you checked wrong. You know where I work? I came ASAP from headquarters 2 hours and 40 minutes to get here, and you unplugged the printer to charge your phone? Why didn't you use the storage room for that? Gansa. Mumbling something. Me. What? Gansa. I can't see the notifications if the phone's in the storage room. Me, while grabbing my things. I'm going to report this to your sales supervisor since this is a direct breach of the sales agreement and your contract. You can't tamper with the hardware in the store. Manager, realizing the fault is also his. I can manage the issue, don't you worry, OP. Me. Yeah, I know how you manage things apparently. I'll speak with the supervisor anyway. I have to report this issue in the ticket. Good night. Without a single word, I left the store and went home. The next day, I reported everything in the ticket and sent an email to the sales supervisor and the sales manager, my manager, and the store. Gansa wasn't fired, but quit a week later. The manager was demoted to cashier, and I got 1 more week of vacation from my manager. The end. Wow. This dude is tough. Almost anybody would have been annoyed at that, like overly annoyed, beyond annoyed. Pissed off even. But this guy even told off the manager and just held his ground. He was going to report it no matter what. And I guess I can't blame him. You know, killing 2 hours and 40 minutes in the car, even if you're getting paid for it, that can be kind of frustrating when you're fighting traffic and things. And what's up with Gansa that, you know, she thinks that it's okay just to unplug equipment, just charge her phone. Okay, so you don't see notifications. You're working. You're on the clock. You shouldn't be checking your notifications anyway. And now somebody younger than me can pop down to the comments below and tell me how wrong I am. A lesson in reading comprehension. Preface. COVID sent everyone home. Due to the nature of some applications, some users were provided a Citrix-like virtual desktop that they log into to reduce latency when using said applications. Not that this really helped, but users are dumb and the placebo effect is real. We started some migrations not too long ago, which mean these virtual desktops wouldn't be available for a while. I got a ticket the other day from a user who was saying they couldn't access said application. They included a screenshot of an error message when logging into the virtual desktop. I assumed they were attempting to access said application via the virtual desktop, so my response was simple. At this time, the virtual desktops were live, however the applications weren't deployed, so I replied with, "The application isn't available at this time. However, can you please try logging into the virtual desktop again to test if the desktop itself works?" User's response. My coworker had given me the incorrect information about the application being available. My mistake. I can wait until it's ready. Me. Did you attempt to log in like I asked? Please do so and let me know if it works. User. No, I haven't tried again. I informed my coworker that they were wrong. They misunderstood me when I asked if they could log in. Me. Great, can you please try to log into the virtual desktop so we can test whether it works? Silence. At this point, the application was deployed, and it's clear to me that this user fails to understand the "please log in" directive I've given them. So I asked their manager to validate the install because their manager validated it the last time I deployed it to a new machine. I guess their manager has a short memory because they said they don't have an account for it anymore. Well, I need someone to test this, and I've asked your underling to do so 3 times now. So, can you tell them to try again? A few minutes later, I get a call from the user. Hey, I hear you're trying to reach me? Me. No, I just need you to log in as I've asked 3 times now. User. Oh, I didn't see any missed calls from you. Me. Because I didn't call you. I just sent you 3 emails, 2 of which you replied to. User. I just had this one from 9:53 a.m. from you saying, please log in. Me. Right. User. Me. So, please log in? User. Shares screen and opens the application locally. Me. So, what's your issue with the application? Facepalm. It's just like I said before. You can't give people multiple instructions. If you tell people multiple things in one sentence, in one paragraph, in one email, invariably, they're going to miss 1 out of 3, 1 out of 2, things like that. It's like their brain gets stuck at the first thing you told them, and that's it. They're just spinning their wheels after that. Well, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. If you've enjoyed this content, would you do me a favor? Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click that little bell icon so you don't miss the fat guy with the beard telling you stories. See ya!